Yes, it just happened. Ladies and gentlemen, a little girl from San Francisco, a ski flying angel, just won Olympic gold. She bravely withstood the pressure Western media put on her during the last few years after defecting to China, and she delivered. And oh boy, how she delivered.
准备出发了，正滑，漂亮！谷爱凌做出了一个自己都难以置信的难度，巴赫主席都在为她鼓掌，难以置信，向左偏转，双周偏轴转体1620加安全抓板。 谷爱凌用自己从未尝试过的难度，挑战着自己的对手，同时也挑战着自己的极限。爱凌自己都难以置信，全场最高188.25分，你很难相信，他只是练了短短的1年多的时间。 爱凌已经喜极而泣，中国选手谷爱凌拿到了自由式滑雪女子大跳台的冠军。
Hi, I'm Heiko. This is OK Baitu, the slightly other channel. Eileen Gu's name is all over the media, especially in the US, because they are disappointed, upset, pissed. No, actually not. They are furious.
She has one parent who was born in China, and she switched sides despite the fact she's American. What does this tell us about the moment we're living in and about our future?
I think the only word we can arrive at is ungrateful, is shameful. It's ungrateful like a child that says, I'm out of here, I'm moving somewhere else, because you have definitely sold out.
I don't remember any outcry when tennis star Naomi Osaka gave up her US citizenship to play for Japan in the Tokyo Olympics. And neither complained Sweetie Trudeau when Canadian athlete Kelly Humphreys became a US citizen to compete in the Beijing Olympics for Team USA. Oof! No. That fits the narrative perfectly. But that was long before the US Congress passed a bill including $300 million for a countering Chinese influence fund, which is basically anti-Chinese propaganda. And as we see now, this is about to increase to 500 million.
But there should be collective revulsion as we watch this.
Okay. Just let those morons cry. We run the clips and soon you will understand why she made that decision. It's very simple. Enjoy.
I think everybody knows that everybody else is scared, but it's easy to assume that they're not. That being said, I don't talk about it with people who I'm not super close to.
Have your arms here and then back.
The way you manage your mental is almost as important as the tricks themselves. You do have to be careful of who you're telling your secrets to. I'm Eileen Gu, I'm 18 years old, and I'm competing in free ski, halfpipe, slopestyle, and big air at the Olympics. Being a young person, everybody is just figuring out who they are. And so for me, understanding my relationship with fear is probably the first step in doing that. I'm the kind of person who's addicted to adrenaline. I love feeling nervous and then overcoming it, feeling that rush and that reward. That, I think, is the hook that initially got me into skiing. Go fast into the 7 and hold speed.
A jam, like mixtape thing.
Watch how it's your arm.
Yeah, pop and then... Pretty much all of my excitement in life comes from fear, because it comes from adrenaline. I've taken the time to dive into it because it's shared by everybody. If you're nervous for your exam and then suddenly you do well, you're a lot more excited than if you went in knowing you were going to do well. It's not really a surprise because you worked for it, but the uncertainty, I think is addicting. I've always dreamed big. My mom taught me that from day one. She taught me that the first person to believe in you must be yourself. One of my mottos is, if it were easy, it wouldn't be a dream. Adversity and possibility of failure are what make life interesting. When I learn a new trick, it's okay to be scared. It's okay that I will probably fall a million times before I get it right. It takes courage to be able to fall. But then you use that courage to your advantage. And you work harder and practice more, and eventually you land that new trick. Eventually, you accomplish your big dreams.
她是滑雪界百年一遇的天才少女，14岁时已手握50枚金牌。2019年，16岁的谷爱凌更是放弃美国国籍，毅然加入中国国籍，为中国夺得了12枚金牌。作为典型的别人家的孩子，翻看她的履历，你会发现她的成功来得绝不容易。3岁时，谷爱凌第一次被妈妈带到滑雪场，坐缆车时，她看到自由滑雪者们在空中飞翔和旋转的样子，受到巨大冲击，从此为这项运动着迷。为了兼顾学习，作为全职高中生的谷爱凌，只有周末才有时间滑雪，但她在效率上仍远超他人。长达数十年的时间里，妈妈每次要花4个小时载着谷爱凌往返雪场，而谷爱凌则会在车上看书或写作业。极度的惜时和专注，让她在17岁那年提前1年完成高中学业，并以差20分满分的高考成绩考入顶级名校斯坦福大学。但成为冠军需要的却不仅仅是勤奋，还有勇敢。滑雪时摔到脑震荡、瞬间失忆、骨折都是家常便饭，还有坚强。14岁参加成人公开赛的前晚，她高烧到40度，却因为心疼妈妈的付出，忍着病痛和劳累坚持比赛，还一举拿下亚军。这位年仅18岁的天才少女有着那么多的美好品质：勤奋、勇敢、坚强。我想，世界冠军仅仅是她人生的开始。
At the time, I think I was 10 years old or 11, I started thinking about competing for China. I was witnessing the explosion of a sport that people had not even known existed in China. And this is the sport that I have put so many hours of my life into, that I love so much, that has brought me an immeasurable amount of joy. What I started to realize was there was nobody like that who I could look up to in China at the time, and the possibility of me becoming that for somebody else, I think, was just a huge opportunity that I couldn't miss out on. I played basketball over the summers in China. I was the only girl on the team. I met a friend in a math class that I was taking during the day. So I was like, hey, you should come to this basketball program that I do at night. She said, okay, whatever. So she came, and all of a sudden I wasn't the only girl anymore. And so we had 2 girls. And then every week we'd bring another person from the class, until our math class was all playing basketball, and my friends from China were all playing basketball. I just want to give more kids the opportunity to try sports, because I think that sport culture still has room to grow, and so I hope to be a part of that growth. I knew that the Olympics were going to be in China, and I think that this actually offered a really good opportunity, because a lot of people were going to watch the Olympics who perhaps hadn't heard of the sport before, look at their TVs and say, hey, we're the same age and she's out there doing that, I can too. When you have an opportunity to try something, always take it, because the worst that can happen is you don't like it. Even if that means if you're the only girl in something that you're afraid to do, and overcoming speaking up at a board meeting, or speaking up in class, or sitting next to someone who you normally don't sit next to at lunch. Just kind of encouraging people through my participation in an extreme sport, and my participation in extreme sport in China, competing in China.
A lot of these people are here for you. You definitely got the loudest cheers. How much extra pressure was on you being for the host nation this time and your first Olympics?
Honestly, this is gonna sound crazy, but I genuinely feel like I've already met my goal, in the sense of my biggest goal has always been to inspire young girls to start skiing, or to be able to kind of spread the sport of free skiing, which, when I was 8 or 9 when I started doing this, it was non-existent. It was non-existent in China. And so now seeing all these people, seeing 300 million people on snow, that is just a ridiculous, I don't even know how to describe it. It is indescribable. It makes me so happy. So in that sense, I feel like I've already met my big goal. So now in terms of the contest, I'm competing for myself. I'm doing it for nobody but me. I'm remembering that I'm skiing because I love it. I'm competing because I love it. And when I go out there, when I do the tricks, I'm the one who put in the work for it, and I'm the one who, will be happy or sad at the end of the day. So I'm trying to do it for myself.
Does China feel like home now?
China, I've grown up spending about 25 to 30% of every year in China growing up. So, I'm fluent in Mandarin, my family's Chinese. So yeah, absolutely. In Beijing especially, because my mom was born here, she grew up here, and I spent a lot of time here growing up. So being able to hear the Beijing accent again and be able to eat Chinese food and be surrounded by the culture, it definitely feels like coming home for sure. In English or Chinese? Oh my God, I'm so happy. Moments like this make everything so worth it. I've really sorry, I'm just really emotional right now. I've dreamed about this moment for years and years and years, and I'm so happy to have the home crowd here back.
谷爱凌，
自由式滑雪女子大跳台冠军，中国选手谷爱凌。18岁的谷爱凌站在最高领奖台上，她用实际行动告诉全世界，自信的中国人是最美的。
So if Eileen Gu was not yet the role model for 300 million young Chinese boys and girls, she is for sure now, inspiring them to try out a new type of winter sport, and she will be in all eternity. That's for sure. Congratulations to you, Eileen. 加油, you rock. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button, leave a comment. Stay curious. See you soon. Bye.
What do I know? What do I know? What do I know?